Let's be real. There's nothing more exhausting than pouring your energy into people or situations that don't pour back into you. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's that one-sided friendship where you're the only one reaching out, or that relationship where you've given everything but you still feel empty, or even that job that just drains the life out of you day after day without giving anything in return. Here's the thing. You already know when it's time to let go. You feel it, it's there, it's deep in your gut, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. But then guilt comes in and you start questioning yourself. You start asking yourself, am I being selfish? What if they think I'm the bad guy? What if I regret this? Listen to me. Choosing yourself is not selfish. In fact, choosing yourself is, I would like to say, never selfish. It's necessary. Letting go isn't about being cold or cutting people off just because it's trendy. It's about making room for peace, for clarity, and the things that truly align with who you are. It's about protecting your energy so that you can thrive. So today I'm going to break this down together, right? I'm going to show you how to know when it's time to let go, how to set the boundaries without feeling guilty, and how to release what's been draining you, but doing it with confidence and grace. By the end of this, you will have tools that you can use right away to stop feeling stuck and start living for you. So grab a journal, make yourself comfortable, maybe grab you some tea like I'm doing right here, and let's get into it. This is your moment to take your power back. Okay, let's start with the hard part. How do you even know when it's time to let go? Because sometimes the hardest thing isn't the actual letting go. It's being honest with yourself about why letting go is necessary. It's removing yourself from this denial stage that we often go through. Maybe you've been telling yourself, they're probably just going through a rough patch, or things will get better if I just keep trying harder. But let me ask you, how long have you been saying that? How long have you been making excuses for these people? Weeks, months, years? Sometimes we stay in situations not because they're good for us, but because we're afraid of what's gonna come after we leave. We think that something's gonna happen when we won't be able to survive. But think about your energy like a bank account. Every interaction that you have, whether it's a person, a job, or a situation, is either depositing into that account or making a withdrawal. So ask yourself, is this person or this situation filling you up or draining you dry? Because here's the truth. Healthy relationships leave you feeling supported, valued, and energized. Unhealthy ones, they make you question your worth and second guess your decision. So if you're still unsure, here are some signs that it might be time to let go. If you feel drained or anxious after every interaction, it's time to let go. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, you're scared of saying or doing the wrong thing, it's time to let go. If you're the only one making an effort to keep things going, it's time to let go. And the big one, if you're losing sight of who you are because you're so focused on keeping that person happy, it's time to let go. Awareness is everything. So for the next week, pay close attention to how you feel after every meaningful interaction with that person. Write it down if you need to. Be brutally honest. Who is filling your cup and who is leaving it empty? That awareness will guide you towards what to keep and what to release. All right, now let's talk about what might just be my absolute favorite topic to talk about on this channel besides feminine energy. Let's talk about boundaries. It's one of those things that sounds easy, in theory, but then feels impossible when you actually try to do it. Before I knew how to set boundaries, whenever I would try to set them, I would have thoughts like, what if they think I'm selfish? What if they get mad? Or what if they don't understand? But here's the thing. Boundaries are not about controlling how other people feel. They're about protecting how you feel. So think of boundaries not as walls to shut people out, but as guidelines that show other people how to love you and how to respect you. Here's how we can meet in a way that works for the both of us. I know this can feel especially hard, especially if you've grown up believing that your worth comes from how much you give to other people. Let me tell you something. Every time you say yes to someone else at your own expense, you're saying no to yourself. Do I need to repeat it? Every time you say yes to someone else at your own expense, you're saying no to yourself. These are the only two options. And that's why you feel so overwhelmed and overextended, because you cannot keep pouring from an empty cup. So here's how you can start setting boundaries. I actually learned this in therapy. Use I statements. So when you want to set the boundary, instead of trying to figure out how to start your sentence, always start with I. Say something like, I feel overwhelmed when XYZ happens, so I need to step back, right? I feel anxious when XYZ happens, so I need to adjust. The next tip is to be clear and kind, because clarity is kindness. Say what you mean without over apologizing, just say it and be kind, and don't over explain yourself. The third tip is to start small, right? Setting boundaries is a practice. It's not something you achieve or something on the to-do list. It's a daily practice. So practice saying no in like small situations or situations where the stakes are low, because every small step will eventually build your confidence to set boundaries in every area of your life. Okay, here's the truth. When you start setting boundaries, not everyone will like it, especially the ones who were benefiting from you not having any. They're not gonna like it. You might hear things like, you've changed, or why are you acting different? And some people might even guilt trip you and say things like, after everything I've done for you. But here's what you need to remember. This is harsh, but their reaction is not about you, it's about them. Setting boundaries forces people to reflect on their own behavior, and not everyone is ready for that. So when this happens, just stay calm. You don't need to defend or explain yourself. You can say something as simple as, this is what I need right now, and I hope you can respect that. That is more than enough. Remember, your peace is never up for negotiation. Now, let's talk about the actual letting go. Recognizing it's time to let go is one thing, but actually releasing what's been holding you back, that's a whole nother challenge. I know that letting go can feel heavy, right? It's easy to think, if I walk away, am I failing? Am I giving up too soon? But let me reframe it for you. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making space. Space for peace, space for growth, space for the life that's waiting for you on the other side. But let's be real, I know it's hard. Even when you know something is not good for you, there's always that little voice in your head, that says, what if I just try a little harder? What if I just wait a little longer? What if things change? And then fear comes in, fear of being alone, fear of regret, fear of the unknown. But here is the thing, you guys, holding on to what's hurting you is costing you more than letting go ever will. So how do you actually start letting go? How do you do it? How do you cut the cord? Okay, so here's an exercise that's helped me. I would take out your journal and write a letter. Write to the person, the situation, or even the version of yourself that you're releasing. Pour everything out, the love, the hurt, the hopes, the disappointments, and be honest. And then once you've released all of it on the paper, and then I recommend to tear it up or burn it or do whatever you gotta do to communicate to your brain that you're done. This is your way of saying, I'm done carrying this with me. Personally, I have had a lot of success with this technique. There's something about physically tearing a paper up with all of my feelings and all of my attachment to that person that just helps me to let go. So I'm hoping that that method also works for you. But also something you need to remember is that letting go is not something you do once. It's a daily choice. But every time you choose to release what's draining you, you're choosing yourself. And that's a choice that's worth making. Okay, so now that you've let go, you might feel a little lost, and that's normal. It's like cleaning out a closet, which I really need to do. You clear out your closet, you've cleared out the clutter, but now you're staring at this empty space and you're wondering what to do with it. But here's the exciting part. This empty space is now your blank canvas. It's where you get to rebuild, and this time on your own terms. But let's acknowledge something first. When you spent so much time pouring into other people, it can feel strange, even uncomfortable, to pour into yourself. No one talks about this, but when you're not used to doing that, there will be a season where your body will be shocked. And maybe some of you have even forgotten what makes you happy. You don't even know. And others of you will feel guilty for putting yourself first and prioritizing your need. Or maybe you just don't know how to start. So here's how to begin reclaiming your energy. Reconnect with joy. I can't remember the YouTuber that talks about this, but he talks a lot about inner child and how reconnecting with your joy means you have to think back to when you were a kid and trying to remember what used to light you up. For me, it was, I love to write, I love to read, I love to be in nature, I love to dance, right? Or for you, it might be painting or just walking outside. So whatever it is, whatever you can remember, start somewhere. Right? It doesn't even have to be big. It just has to be something that feels good to you. I would also recommend creating daily rituals. These also don't have to be complicated, right? Maybe it's just 10 minutes of quiet in the morning with your tea, or a quick gratitude practice at night. These small moments can really anchor you. The next tip would be to take care of your body, right? Emotional exhaustion can also show up in your physical energy too. So move your body, right? Stretch, walk, dance, feed it well, rest when you need to. Another thing I would recommend is to find your people. Try to surround yourself with those who pour into you. Look for relationships where you feel seen and celebrated. And if you don't have those yet, that's okay. Communities are out there just waiting for you. And if you want to join this community, of course, I would love to have you go ahead and subscribe. I have so much wonderful, beautiful plans for this community. It truly is my passion to pour into you and to just give you guys whatever it is that I have learned on my journey. And I really do believe that also when you comment, it can help me as well, and it can help somebody else. So please comment if you have any thoughts you'd like to share. I also want to add that reclaiming your energy isn't about filling your time with more stuff. I'm not against stuff. If what you need right now is a Shein order, or you want to go to the mall, or you want that new Chanel bag, I'm not against it. But I am telling you that what it's really about is choosing the things that feel aligned with the life you've stepped into. So it's not about filling it in with meaningless things and going backward, but filling it with things that support this new person and this new life that you're trying to build. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with today, is this: you deserve to protect your peace. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. You cannot give your best to the world if you're constantly running on empty. In fact, not choosing yourself is not serving anybody. And so letting go doesn't mean that you're walking away from love or loyalty. It means you're walking towards the love that you deserve, the love that you give to yourself, the love that comes from when you make space for what's truly meant for you. So here's your permission to release what's no longer serving you, to honor your boundaries, to create a life that reflects your worth. This is your time. You do not need to wait for anyone to validate your decisions for you. So if you like this video, share it with someone who may need to hear it. Let's keep building this community of people who are just ready to prioritize themselves and live authentically. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so we can keep growing together. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm proud of you for showing up for yourself, for your peace, and for your future. Until next time, take care and remember, you are worthy. Always.